Welcome to Breaking Burnout for Nurses podcast. I'm Bonnie Kitahata. I'm your host. Nurses often think about, oh, I need a vacation. That's like one of the first things we think of when we're having a bad day. It's so stressful at work and it's been going on for a long time. And just need to get out of here. We need a great vacation. Well, my guest today is Shanta Mony. She's a travel advisor and she's been on my show before. And I have used her before as my travel advisor, and she's wonderful. So I have her here today to tell us about cruising vacations, which is her specialty. So she does a wonderful job for us and for me. In the past, I know for sure that she does a wonderful job. So I would like to share her with you, my nurses out there, to help you with nurse burnout and planning some cruising vacations. So welcome, Shanta. I'm so glad you're back with us. In the past, gone on a cruising vacation with you. And actually it was like a business conference vacation. And it was just wonderful how you planned everything. Everything was so organized and you kept us up to date on what to expect and everything like that. So that's why all I can do is just sing you praises. Everything was like, I didn't do anything. I just, you just let me know each step of the way what to do and kept us informed on everything. So anyway, I just want you to share that with my nurses out there who are considering going on vacation and maybe haven't considered cruising vacations. So tell us the pros and cons of cruising.
Great. Thank you. Thank you for bringing that. That's really one of the best ways to travel. I know there are different ways you can go on cruises, right? You can have the big ocean cruises. You also have the river cruising. And then also you have the little expedition cruises where somebody wants to be a little more active in doing it. So one of the pros for cruises is whether you're going by yourself or you're going with a group like a friends and family, you don't have to worry about anything. Um, Everything is paid for. Your food is paid for. You can pay for ahead of time for your drinks if you want to choose to do that. You can select the excursions you want. Now that is an extra cost, but it's all planned for you. You don't have the hassle of trying to plan out everything for you. And where we come in is we kind of find out what's the best cruise line and the best itinerary and to fit you in that. The cons of the cruising vacation is some people don't like to be on sea. They like to see land on both times. And then they're also afraid of, being seasick. That's a valid reason. But nowadays, with the stability of the ships and the preventions that you can take, I know you all know what you all can do to prevent seasickness, that can easily be overcome. But I understand there are some of my clients who just don't want to go on cruises, and that's totally fine. We can fit them into something else. But cruising is seamless. It's an enjoyable time, especially if you're going with a group of either way of family members or a group of extended family friends. You don't have to stay with them the whole length of the day. They can do their own things, and then you meet for lunch, breakfast, and or lunch and dinner. You still have that familiarity of being with everybody, the fun of being with everybody, but you also have your own special time away from everybody.
One thing I enjoy is I get together with some friends of mine practically every year, and we go on a cruise. And like you said, the beauty of it is that there are so many things that the cruise line has available for you to do, anywhere from, of course, they have all the dinner, the meals planned out at certain times. There's always somewhere that you can get food on the ship. So eating is not a problem. And you can either select your meal time, or there are places on the ship where you can go at any time of the day, which is wonderful too. And then they also have I can't remember what you call it when they bring the food to your cabin. And then also they have so many things like games to play. They have bingo, they have sing along, they have dancing, they have activities for the children to do. So, there are so many, and they have shows, like really like Broadway type shows that are available, comedians. And so, like you said, we can each do our own thing if we want to, and then we come together for a meal. Say, okay, I'll see you at dinner at such and such a time.
Right. Yeah, it's so true. The cruise lines have so much of activities right from the time you wake up till late evening, all different types of activities. So, there's music, there's arts, there's if the golf putting, if you're for the guys, so many different things that they offer, and it's you can take part as many as things as you want, or if you just want to relax and go and lie down by the pool or the spa and have a relaxing time, you can do
A lot
that.
of times they have a library where you can
Yeah.
just have quiet time and read, or there you can always find a spot there somewhere on the ship where you can have some quiet time, alone time if you want.
Hmm.
And then of course there are a lot of things where you places where you can join in some activities with people you know or people you don't know. So
Yep, great
that's
way to make friends, right?
Um, now the cruise that I went on with that you organized was a business conference, and so tell us a little bit more about how we can do some nursing things on a cruise ship.
Yeah, business conference, we call them at seminars at sea, and
Seminars. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
they are great. They're great because the cruise line takes care of everything. You have the space there. We make sure that you have the conference room availability if there's a conference room on board. Some ships don't have it, but they do. They improvise. They may give you their dining room. I think, Bonnie, when we went, we had the dining room because that
Yes.
particular ship didn't have a specific conference room. But they make way for us. They arrange the projector if you need one. And a great way for nurses is when you have to have even this continuing education credits. Why do it in a hotel at the boardroom or a conference room when you can do it on a ship and enjoy, have the business part of it, but also enjoy the rest of the time with people or
Hmm.
you may not know them, but you have your free time, right? So those are really good, and it's much more cost effective than holding it in a hotel, because you don't pay for that extra room for the conference room. That's all taken care of. And if conference rooms in hotels are prices seem to be going up, and they have minimum requirements. You have to pay up front. You don't have all that when you do it on a cruise. So they're really good, and really good for networking and bonding and getting to know everybody else.
Mhm. Yes. So just to let you nurses know out there, she just knows the intricacies of being on the cruise, and she keeps you up to date on what to expect next, and she gives you little notices all the time so that not that you shouldn't pay attention. You should always be paying attention to what's on the itinerary, but Shanta makes sure that you you are up to date on what is the next step or what's offered, and she has a you know little treats for you. Let me just put it that way.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah.
So it's really wonderful to have
Yeah.
a trip advisor like her.
Yeah, you mentioned about going on a girls' trip together, right? That's another way of a group trip. So anything, usually a group, you can have to have like 16 cabins, but it doesn't matter. Even if you have a few cabins, it's fine. You can do a girls' trip. You can do an extended family. There's a lot of people who do multi-generational families, and that's perfect because maybe the grandparents are not so active. They don't want to
Mhm.
go on everything. They can relax. The kids can have a blast. They see them in the morning, and you probably don't see them till the evening. So so there are different types of groups you can go on. So this a really good way to for a vacation, I think.
Yes, some of the cruise lines will have, activities for the teenagers, adults who are, singles who want to meet dancing or something
Yep.
like that. And even for the little kids, they'll have little activities. And that the kids are safe because they're all together in the group that's organized. So it's really wonderful, and not just one thing. There are several things, and every day there's something new to try. So
Yeah.
it's very good.
Yeah.
One thing that we mentioned earlier was that sometimes people are afraid to go on a cruise because of seasickness, which I have had seasickness in the past. But it seems like the cruises, the larger cruise boats, are, like you said, they have these stabilizers nowadays they just don't rock that much. But some people still do get on, maybe the first day especially. But I like the river cruises
Mhm.
because they are even more smooth. I mean, it's like not even, it's like going on a pool.
Yeah.
There's no waves. So, what can you tell us
Yeah.
about river cruising?
Yeah, river cruising is one of my favorite ways to travel in
Mhm.
Europe or in some of the other countries that they do have the river cruising. Because like it's so true. Sometimes you'll be sitting at the lounge and you don't even feel, and then you look out, oh, we are moving, right? Because
Yes.
that's a really good way for people to travel, especially for people who are afraid of being in the wide open ocean. In river cruising, you see land on both sides. and the rivers are not deep. They're not very deep, and they're very smooth. So that's a fun way to do it. There's a big difference between river cruising and ocean cruising, and that's where we come in to make sure that you're a good fit. Because river cruising, you don't have the big Broadway shows, you don't have continuous entertainment throughout the day, but you do have entertainment on in the evenings, and they're more on local artists coming on board, or you're going to go to an opera or a special event at a museum. They could have different things. They do have, but it's quite different from the entertainment that you would find ongoing all the time.
This one cruise that I went on, it went through Portugal, and they did have some local artists come on during the evening and do a show, and it was wonderful. I mean, they just kind of hopped on the ship. We were in port, and this local band came on and did some dancing and singing, and they were so good. And so then after the show, they got off the ship and went back home. And
Right.
then we cruised a little bit down the river, and the next night we had a different show, but it was a local band or local dancers, and it's so fun. Like you said, a lot different than a big Broadway show, but just still very enjoyable.
And it's so nice to go and sit on the top deck on a river cruise and just watch the scenery go by. You see the little towns, you see the people there, they're waving to you. And when you're in port, you have excursions which are all included. So you don't have to pay anything extra for it like you do on some of the river or ocean cruises. I know there are some luxury cruise lines which include everything. It's very similar to that. All your excursions are included. You just have to choose which excursion you want to go to. So that's another reason why they don't have too many activities, because you're going and exploring the towns. You're going and going to the local places, eating at the local restaurants, if you choose to. So those are the kind of things which are quite different.
Thank you so much, Shanta, for joining us again. I'll have you back again because I'm thinking of other questions about traveling. So for today, I just want to remind my nurses out there that you can get a little giveaway from Shanta. It's called travelbyshanta.com. And what is your giveaway, Shanta?
It's an ebook, and it's a travel compass to how to go on a safe and comfortable journey. And give you tips on those. So it's really an ebook which helps you. It's your travel compass to being safe.
Well, again, thank you. You can follow Shanta on Instagram. It's Luxury Destinations Concierge. And also you can find her information on my website, breakingburnout.com. And we will see you again next week on Monday. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Bye-bye.